Welcome to the Delight in the Limelight podcast. I'm your host, Linda Ugelow, and today I'm going to be coaching Facebook marketing expert Kate Coleman, who is about to do her very first panel tomorrow. And she wants to make sure that she is going to have the best experience that she can. So you will hear me strategize with her around mindset and preparation rituals and how to make sure that she is going to have the best time when she's up there on stage. You'll also hear me guide her through a visualization mental rehearsal, which will be super interesting for you because you will be able to use that as a template of how you can do that for yourself for all your speaking experiences. I hope you enjoy the episode. All right, so welcome, Kate. Kate is a marketing manager. What do you call yourself, Kate?
I have just been calling myself a Facebook marketing expert and like something along the lines of brand messaging. I feel like my title is ever evolving.
Yeah, and you're so good at like storytelling, and you're helping me out, and I'm really grateful for it. And you've
Yeah.
got a panel coming up tomorrow, and so we decided to do some coaching around it. And just before we got on, I asked you if you were not giving a panel, if you were giving a talk, how would you feel? And you just started to say something, well, I do feel good about the panel, but there was a but. And I said, hold on, let's record this. So why don't you take it from there?
Yeah. And it's so funny because I'm like, oh, I don't want to say that I'm going to be shitting my pants before I get on this panel because then I don't want to speak that into reality. But I can share from like one of the last times I like had to like speak in front of people. I was like, in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, I got it. And I like kind of feel that way now where I'm like, yeah, I feel confident in this going well. Like, it'll be okay. There's only this amount of people, and then I think that sometimes before you get on stage, you're like, when the moment starts to become real, you're like, oh shit, okay. I feel it in my body, and then your body kind of starts reacting, and your brain kind of starts being like, oh, it's only 20 minutes until you have to get on stage, and then all you can think about is the getting on stage, and then it's like, then you're on stage, and then what? And so I feel like that is the kind of reaction I would love to avoid for tomorrow. And so that's kind of what goes through my head with that question.
Yep, yep. That's great. And we will definitely get into things that you can do to not just avoid it, but to design a different kind of experience, because that's what we're after, not kind of like getting away from things, but moving into what it is that we want. So why don't we start there? And if we end up getting into some kind of like deeper, healing stuff, if that seems appropriate, we'll do that later. But let's start with this now because you're having this tomorrow and we want you to feel like you're totally set up for it. And I think this is going to be helpful for anyone who's listening, who speaks, and what you can do to maximize the positive experience of it all. Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's start with
absolutely.
let's start with what you want. What do you want?
Yeah. I think I can see what I want pretty clearly too. Like, I want to go on that panel. I want to feel confident in the way that I look. I want to feel confident in the way that I carry myself. I want to be able to almost be so involved in like the conversation that we're going to be having that I'm not thinking about what's going on or what people are perceiving or what people are thinking or how this sounds or just like all of the things. And I want to almost come at it in a space where like we're having a conversation right now where it's just like easy to sit down and answer this question and talk with you, and I'm kind of just in this flow state of answering and not being like, oh, like, well, I guess that's what I don't want. But
That's okay.
focusing
That's
and just
okay.
okay.
You can say,
Not being like questioning everything I'm saying, questioning if I'm like talking for too long, questioning if I make sense, questioning or like kind of limiting myself on how long I'm allowed to speak, or I don't know, just also forgetting what I want to say. Like, I know I have so much knowledge on Facebook marketing. What I don't want to happen is to get on stage and forget all of that and kind of flop in a way. And I want to be able to stand up there and be the true expert that I am and talk on things that I know like the back of my hands, and not be in this position of like, I don't know, like I don't want to like look like I don't know what I'm talking about. And I guess how I look is like another element of things, and not being so worried about what other people think, but more about how I feel, and just be like so excited about this conversation because I love marketing and I love talking about marketing, that I want to be excited to be talking about marketing on stage and not being like, like, am I talking too much? Like questioning myself. So that's what I want.
Okay, that's great. And I'm actually really glad that you talk about the things that you're concerned about, because that's really helpful also in strategizing. So for
Yeah.
instance, let's start there actually, now that we have a little bit of a picture. So one of the things that you're worried about is, so I wrote down, I might not have gotten it all, not questioning what you're saying, if you make sense, if you're talking too long, if you're forgetting what you want to say, you don't want to forget stuff. Okay. I want to say, first of all, you very likely won't be able to say all that you would like to say. That's one of the things I learned about being on a panel. You got to let go, because you're not the only one on the panel. The great thing about doing a keynote is that you got the mic all the time. You get
Yeah.
to you get to shape everything that you put out, and so you can prepare and put that out. On a panel, it rarely works that way. So I I I want to recommend to you to give yourself permission that it's okay that not everything gets said, that you don't have to give a full rundown on everything that Facebook marketing entails and everything
Yeah.
that you know. And just trust. It's really going to be a matter of trust, and like saying, I trust this, that whatever comes out is what was meant to be. And that the people who are meant to resonate with you and maybe want to reach out and work with you or learn more or join the inner circle of the business that you're part of, the Boston Business Women, that will happen.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit of a mindset shift, changing expectations.
Yeah, it definitely gives permission in a way. I think my instinctual reaction is like, why? Like, I want everything to be said, but like when thinking about how some of the best conversations that I've had have gone, they've been very flow state. You know what I mean? It's very, and just accepting that conversation is going to go where it's going to go. And that's okay. Like, it doesn't need, I don't need to try to force out everything because I feel like that's important. You know, I can just relax a little and let conversation go and touch on where I want to touch on, but not put so much pressure on getting everything out.
Don't, like, just let go of it. Let yourself be kind of in the flow. Allow yourself to be open to being a vessel or a vehicle for the
Mm.
information to come out, and whatever the universe sees fit for that evening, that's what it's going to be. And know that there are other opportunities. The reason why is, you got, how many people are on the panel?
It's going to be myself and two others.
Okay, and is there a moderator?
No, we're going to kind of moderate ourselves.
You're moderating yourself, and so you three have come up with the structure. And what is the structure going to be?
So, to my understanding, we each are going to answer, like, I'll be asking one of the panelists questions about branding photography, and then I'll ask, or one of the other panelists will ask the other woman about PR and public relations, and then one of them will ask me questions about Facebook marketing.
And so how much time do you have to speak?
Um, I think the entirety of the panel will be about 30 minutes, and then I think we wanted to save some time at the end for the audience to ask questions.
Okay, so you may have like 8 minutes to speak,
Okay. That
right?
that makes sense.
Right? Because it's 10 minutes each, but there
Yeah.
are questions that are being asked, so that takes a little bit. And and are you speaking, is it going to be conversational, or you're just going to be speaking for, let's say, 4 minutes, and then you get another 4 minutes with a second question?
I kind of hope it is more conversational because that just feels more natural for me. Um, but as of right now, to my understanding, like I think it will be like me answering those questions and then probably like me answering one question and then me answering the next question.
Yeah. So if you do want it more conversational, you'll have to reach out to them up front and let them know
Yeah.
that's what you're looking for. Otherwise, it won't happen. They're just going to let you
Yeah.
talk. And which is fine. I mean, I'm sure you've got plenty to say,
Yeah.
but you may also just want to like turn on your camera or some voice recorder and say, like, if you know, do you know what the questions are?
Yeah, I have them. I just was glancing over them. I could pull them up too if we want them, but
You
I
don't
don't have
need
them.
to pull it up now, but I feel like what I would do is I would just turn on my voice recorder and say, "Hey, Kate, blah 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 blah," and then answer the question, like just chatter away, and then see how long it took you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm just gonna make a note of that.
Yeah, take notes. One of the things that I discovered was that there were things that, like, there were things that I kind of accordioned out, I stretched out that didn't, I mean, you know this in your writing because you're telling me
Yeah.
these all the time, but there are things that we stretch out that maybe we have to make a decision. Would we rather go in deeper or would we rather carry more territory? And we have to think about what is more, quote unquote, entertaining, what is more
Mm,
valuable for somebody if they want to hear like a really good story or an example.
mm,
Sometimes less is more. And sometimes, or maybe you just want to hit people over the head with a lot of information where they're scrambling to take notes. It's not like one's better than the other, but you have
yeah.
to decide like what do I want to give here. For instance, I know that I used to give workshops at the Organic Farmers Conference, and I loved the people who gave us so much information that I was scrambling taking notes. I could barely take them fast enough. And so
Yeah.
that was the kind of workshop that I wanted to give. However, with the work that I do now with getting over the fear of speaking, I sometimes feel like it's more impactful for me to say less, but to like tell more stories. So, or give an example. So rather than cover the surface level, to like cover a couple of things and then go a little bit deeper with examples so that people really understand how something connects or relates.
Yeah. That's
That
so
makes
interesting. I never really thought of that. I never really thought of the element of like how I wanted to talk about things. And, if I do want to tell stories or kind of like deliver a ton of information. And I think when I'm hearing you say that, I feel like storytelling is like my way of I love being like entertaining. I'm someone who needs to be entertained to truly learn or like stay with my attention focused. And so entertaining to me sounds like a huge priority. And so storytelling and entertaining and delivering value kind of like through starting with that and then going into like those kind of like the golden nuggets of wisdom at the end kind of feel like what makes sense for me. But at the top of mind, I think I probably when I look at the questions, it would be a lot easier. Um, but like top of mind, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to conjure up a story to go with each of these points. And so part of me is hesitant on that part, but that's where my mind is currently. I'm like, wow, that's cool. I didn't think of being able to entertain. I kind of just thought like get up there and tell them everything that I know about Facebook marketing and then stop when it's not my turn anymore.
Yeah, well, I think that I'm coming. I would love to be entertained.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd love to be
and I would
entertained
love
by
to
you. I find you very entertaining. Your writing is very entertaining. I think you know how to do this. You just haven't thought
yeah,
about doing it as you speak. You do it all the time in your writing.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And what's like I host a lot of like larger Zoom calls. Like I have a lot of experience hosting large Zoom calls and speaking in front of people on Zoom. And so I like know how to be like my entertaining self in those elements too and like storytell and just be captivating. And I think with the in-person thing is where I'm getting spooked because I'm like, oh my, like it's just different. I don't know. It's like more physical and like I'm in that environment. I'm not just like in my room.
Right, right, right. And that's why I said, maybe at some point we'll see the time wise if we have time to get into something that goes in a deeper healing space, because it could be that there is stuff from the past that is getting triggered by being in person that doesn't get triggered on camera. And that happens all the time. You know, some people are comfortable in one place, but not the other.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but
absolutely.
still, let's stick with preparation. So, and I think in terms of like, does it make sense taking too long? If you prepare by just speaking into your phone, listen back. It's not that long. It's 4 minutes, but give yourself a half an hour, or give yourself a half an hour between now and then to try it out and listen back and just evaluate it for yourself. It will give you the answers. Does this make sense? I'm sure whatever you say, Kate, is going to make sense. I would even like say that's a non-issue. Taking
Yeah.
too long definitely can take too long. That's why you're doing it. I think that it will also take care of you questioning what you're saying, because it will give you a little practice. The other mindset thing I want you to consider is this is just one panel. Don't make it have to be perfect. Don't make it have to be as good as the fifth panel you do will be. Allow
Yeah.
it to be, this is your first panel. Just allow it to be the first one, and be kind towards it. Give yourself a lot of permission and bravo for doing it. Encouragement, be your ally. You know, let it be fun. Let it be something that this is so cool that I get to do. And I don't care if I stumble, I don't care if I make a mistake, I don't care if I forget, you know, go blank in the middle of what I'm saying. It's all okay. Do you have any worries about those kinds of things? Those like blips?
Yeah.
So if you forget what you want to say where you were, I want you to say to everybody, I lost my thread or whatever. Where was I? And let us tell you where you were. And just let yourself be amused by it. Because as you know, when we're imperfect, we're more relatable.
Yeah.
So allow yourself to have some level of imperfection.
Yeah. Absolutely, and "Let It Be Fun" is really, like, ringing through me, and I really like that, and I just wanna hold on to that too, because right now, I am excited, and it does feel like it's gonna be fun, and it can be fun, like, even if you lose your train of thought, it can be like, "Oh my," like, "What was I saying?" Like, "Can someone point me back?" Like, and just kinda make it make it fun, like, make a joke out of it, make it just, like, be human, be yourself, like,
Exactly.
no need to hold yourself to this, like, standard of perfection, especially if you've never done it, you know?
Absolutely. Like, let yourself be a beginner, you know, and
Yeah,
say, hey, this is my first rodeo.
yeah,
Okay, let's see. Yes, I think we covered all the worries. So let's do a little visualization.
okay,
So close your eyes and feel your feet where they are. Feel your arms where they are. Notice your breath as it is. Let your breath feel really good. And tap into that feeling of excitement and happy anticipation and the fun that this can be. And imagine sometime between now and the end, you pick up your phone, you're talking, you know what your questions are, and you say, okay, I'm just going to blab, blab, blab. See yourself blabbing on the phone, listening back, going, oh, okay, all right. And imagine that you give yourself permission to trust. And any time between now and when you get on the stage, as you think about this experience coming up, I want you to think of it with an open heart with appreciation and gratitude. Make it a commitment to stay in this space, this open-hearted, fun space. And now envision yourself as people are walking into the space. You're already there. You get together with your friends, and you're still committed and staying in this open-hearted zone. And as people come in, you have this sense of welcome and excitement. And maybe you chat with some people. Maybe you get some hugs. And you stay grounded in your body. You stay connected. You allow yourself to welcome the unknown with curiosity, like, I wonder what this is going to be like. And I'm here for it. And then imagine that it's your turn to ask a question of one of the others. And you really enjoy that little moment in the limelight where you get to ask the question that's going to spark something interesting for the whole group. And maybe there is some conversation, and allow yourself to envision that. And then it's your turn. Yay, it's your turn to speak. And you hear the question, and you just open yourself up to see what comes out of your mouth. Enjoy the story of it. Enjoy the entertaining moment. Enjoy that you get to share this expertise that you have. Be of service, because you know that you've got something that other people want to know about. And it feels good to have that gift of knowledge that you can pass on. People are there because they're eager to learn. And then there's the next question that comes to you. And you enjoy these moments that you get to share. And even when you forget something, you have that moment where you say, yes, I can ask, where was I now? And have that fun little moment there. Or a little stumble over your words, and you laugh about it and move on. And in the back of your mind, you've got a staunch supporter that's encouraging you, that's saying, you go, girl. You got this. It's okay. Everything's okay. Enjoy yourself. And you're feeling in the zone, and you're allowing yourself to feel happy, delighted to be with your audience, delighted to be in the limelight. And then it's over. And people come up, and you see their faces and hear the words of what they're sharing with you, saying how meaningful it was. And you allow yourself to be filled with a sense of pride, sense of satisfaction, and celebration. Woohoo! First one, you did it. It was fun. And it's just the beginning. Then I invite you to come back to your body, feel where your arms and your legs are. Notice your breath as it is. And before we open our eyes, I invite you to send blessings to your future self. So tomorrow and any time between now and then, you can feel the blessings that you sent to yourself and receive them. Let them fill you up. And when you're ready, open your eyes. How was that?
That was really cool because I feel like for the first time I actually felt like I was watching a tape of what was gonna happen, whereas before I feel like it was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm just gonna go up there, and I feel like it gives you something to like you can like when you were saying like, oh, you misspoke your word or you lost your train of thought, like it shows you what it looks like when you do that and how it can look, you know?
So I want to give you a couple of other things to do on your way over.
Yeah.
When you're driving there, I presume. Are you going to
Yes.
be driving by yourself or will you have a passenger?
I believe I'll probably just be driving by myself.
Okay. I want you to make a lot of noise in the car or the vehicle. Make a lot of sounds with your mouth. Find the resonance in your voice. Feel how your voice takes up space. So when you hold up the mic, and hopefully you'll be able to do a little mic check beforehand, I want you to get really close to the microphone. And I want you to feel how cool that bass sound is when you hold the mic really close to your mouth. And play around with listening to the change of the tonality when you have the mic closer and far away. And don't be afraid to be close and have it be intimate, your voice be intimate, enjoying the sound of your voice. And I also want you to do something physical beforehand, which you probably already do in your life, but so that you feel like your body is taking up space and your energy takes up space. And when you walk into the room, I want you to like look at the walls, look at the ceiling, look around, and imagine how your energy just fills and spreads out to all the corners. So that when we come in, your audience, that you are enveloping us in your space, in your energy, like you're inviting us into your home. You like
I like
that?
that. Like, yeah, I do like that. I do like that. I like that a lot.
All right. So I think that's what we have time for. I want to hear what your takeaways are from this.
Yeah. I think this was wildly helpful. I think it'd be so fun to like dive even deeper with you on this in another episode or another time because I feel like my gears are spinning and I'm like, wow, like I feel like I'm touching the ice, like getting into like at the tip of the iceberg, I guess. I think that my takeaways are that it gets to be fun. Like, I don't have to take this so seriously. Like, I can have fun with this, and it doesn't have to be this whole pressure thing. Like, I have to do this or I have to do that. Like, it can just be like, show up, set yourself up for success, and have fun. Like, you love this stuff, enjoy talking about it with people. You love these conversations, so have these conversations. Um, I think that also my takeaway is going to be spending some time tonight recording the questions and how I want to respond to them and playing around with a few different ways to respond to them and just getting an idea of what I want to say. So I have that framework, but not like I'm like held to it like very concretely. Like it can sway and stray where it needs to, but having that as like foundational, like seatbelt in a way where I'm like, okay, I have at least this information. I can figure it out from there. Um, and making like really getting in touch with myself and my energy beforehand, making a lot of noises, feeling myself take up space, and then also like getting a workout in, getting some excess energy out. And I think it like complements the call that I had with my coach right before this too really well, in the sense of like just relax, like be present. Like when you were telling me to visualize, when we were visualizing like the moments and the beforehand, and I can see where my body and mind get tripped up when it's like, okay, we got 5 minutes, then we're going to go on. And that's when it's like, and so I know to be aware of that. And that's the moments where I need to remind myself to have fun, a little bit more. And I just was so excited by the visualization element of like seeing the people come in and like meeting people I've been connecting with on Facebook that I haven't met in person yet, and feeling that excitement for like meeting people and connecting with people. And I feel like that's also another takeaway, in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I feel like recording myself and listening to it over, the visualization was super helpful to give me that idea of what to expect, and when I know I might feel myself get triggered, and when to work on that, finding it to be more fun, and then taking up space beforehand. So I feel like those are my takeaways.
Awesome. Awesome. I love
I'm
how
excited.
present you feel right now. Just thinking, the smile on your face, I feel you're really grounded. And
Yeah,
and I do feel like speaking is a discipline. It's
yeah,
like you find that space, you shift into that space, and you protect that space that you're
yeah.
in. Hmm.
No, absolutely. I agree. It'll be fun. I'm like excited to find this. Like, I'm excited for this to be fun and like not put so much pressure on it. And like, because it really doesn't, like most things in life, like, we really don't need to put that much pressure. Like, these things can be fun. Like, if you misspeak your words or you forget what you're going to say, like, it's not that big of a deal. There's not this like impending doom waiting for you to do that you're now like facing. It really is like a blip in the entirety of the matrix of your life. Like, it's really not this like all defining moment. It's just a word or a sentence or a thought run away. Like, it's really that simple. And I think it's
Yeah.
helpful to look at it like that and just zoom out and be like, oh, okay, it's not as like all consuming as it can feel.
It's not just uh, just a blip. It's also a way for us to express our humanity by our imperfections.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
like almost like maybe the point is we're not supposed to get it all right. Like, maybe
I
that's the
think
point.
so.
And it's funny to think about it, because like I know I'm not the only one who puts so much pressure on themselves to like show up perfect, deliver the best information. And it's like maybe people don't want the best, like whether they know it or not, maybe they don't want the best. They want you. Like, you're there because they want you, not the best information ever, like the most like accurate information about Facebook marketing, all the information on Meta and what they're doing. Like, it's like, no, I'm there because they want me and they want my perspective on it, not
Yeah.
like Mark Zuckerberg's take on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so cool.
I'm excited.
That's great. Well, I'm excited to come.
I'm excited that you're coming. I think it's gonna be
And
so cool to go from this space to that space, and so
yeah,
that'll be really cool.
yeah, yeah. I look forward to that. Thanks for coming on. This was wonderful to work together in this way. I'm glad to contribute to this experience, and we look forward to getting a report on the other side.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited to let this all pan out and have it all come to life and then give you the feedback.
Awesome.